What's going on, guys? It is Sneed from Sneed Mobile Tech, and I've got some big 5G news coming out of Verizon, as well as a couple other things to kind of cover with some housekeeping and what's going on with Big Red. So we'll first get started with Verizon's original 5G update. So Big Red is pivoting its 5G network approach. So millimeter wave is going to be the strength and the power behind Verizon's 5G network. In fact, most of the time I think we can consider all the networks to actually use it as their power or their strength. But Verizon officials have officially met with FCC Chair Ajit Pai about freeing up some mid-band 5G spectrum. I believe it is ranging from 3.5 to 4.2 gigahertz in terms of the frequencies. Now, Verizon already has a bunch of antenna hardware and infrastructure currently in place and ready to use, and they're ready to utilize whatever new 5G mid-band spectrum that they can get their hands on. So they were dealing with, it looks like they're dealing with a market approach change where they're trying to get, 3.5 gigahertz spectrum, which is going to be up for auction next year in 2020. It is the CBRS band. The only problem is there's only about 150 megahertz of it, and it's mostly military usage with only, a little bit of general population usage. So if you think about the 5G approach worldwide, most of the companies and the countries across the globe are focusing on mid-band as the first deployments for 5G. And then they're transitioning or pivoting over to millimeter wave for the speed. Verizon has obviously seen and caught their flaws, and they're deciding to try to kind of pivot back towards mid-band and then, use millimeter wave in a different capacity. So, they've seen the problems that they've witnessed in the early part of their 5G rollouts. The millimeter wave just isn't connecting well and it doesn't propagate well. And now they're seeing how much of a daunting task it is to utilize that as your backbone to your 5G. So they're looking to go with more of the mid-band. So there's some news there. Also, and you guys can see the article there for that. Talking 5G hardware for Verizon, Verizon is set to offer the LG V50 ThinQ 5G, new smartphone that is set for a June 20th launch, which would be today, and they're selling it up front for $1,000. Sprint is also offering this device as of this Friday, but they're selling it for $1,160, but they are offering it on a flex lease plan. Verizon is also doing financing with this device, $41 a month for a 24-month term. They are waiving the $10 5G service add-on charge. So Verizon's making good, trying to get people in on the service. They're not charging people for it for now. It's actually available everywhere. You don't have to just be in a 5G market for Verizon, which is only currently Chicago and Minneapolis. So you can still buy the phone, future-proof yourself for a 5G device if you like it, and you'll be covered for any future rollouts in your markets. So, or if you visit any other 5G markets. So the LG V50 ThinQ 5G is added along to a portfolio of devices like the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus 5G and also the Moto Z3 and the Moto Z4 with Moto Mod attachment. I actually can't advise people to go that route. I can't recommend the Moto solutions, but I think the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus 5G is very good, and I think this LG V50 ThinQ could do good for 5G as well. And the last little bit of news, this is kind of random. Verizon has acquired and received a CAF2 funding authorization from the FCC. This is a program and incentive to deploy network connectivity in rural America. I believe it was done in an auction format where they were able to raise $167 million in shared dollars from the FCC. And this is all as an initiative to get connectivity in rural areas. So Verizon was successfully awarded $9.5 million in incentives in this auction. In terms of the auctions, it started at offering fixed wireless at 1 gigabit per second download and half a gigabit per second upload in all states except New York. Not really sure why. Also, the rural incentive and initiative will offer at least 10 megabits per second at the download, 1 megabit per second on the upload, and then they rewarded the auctions whoever went highest by speed. So most winners came in around 25 megabits per second download, 3 megabits per second upload. Most of them went above the bare minimum entry-level auction. So there's some news coming out of Verizon. You guys can give me your thoughts and opinions on any of these things. The 5G device, the 5G update on how Verizon's going to be approaching their network deployment, and also this little CAF2 funding initiative and authorization for Verizon. So I think I'll leave it at that. I want to give a big shout out to the Discord server. There's a link in the description box below for that. Big shout out to the patrons over on Patreon. There's a link in the description for that as well. And also, if you'd like to make a monetary donation, whether small or occasional, there's a PayPal link in the description box as well if you'd like to support production here on the Sneed Mobile Tech YouTube channel. So I think I'll leave it at that. If you could please share and go ahead and like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you've done so already, and stay tuned for more videos. We're expecting a merger update very, very soon, and I do have a video up and coming in the very near term. So stay tuned for that. This is Sneed from Sneed Mobile Tech, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.